Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have been down at my hunt club today, and now I am back, so I'm way behind schedule, but I've got some good stuff for you. This is a video from the Ripple Eye here. Watch this.
Ether, for the same reason, not being a security. They made positive statements about these consumer utility tokens. If they're constructed and marketed properly, they wouldn't be considered a security, and this is a fundamentally new construct, but they will, we believe, apply securities law to many different projects that did market something that looks a lot like a security, and a security is essentially an investment where you are hoping to profit by the agency, by the work of others, which is different from that network business model where everybo's working together to create value.
Actually, that's exactly what y'all did. Okay, now this one was put up by Bull Run Wonka, and this is a clip from BitBoy I wanted to show you.
Just saw Uncle Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, come out and say, hey guys, it looks like this is swinging in the favor of Ripple, almost like there's no, at this point it looks like they're going to win the case. Now, it's kind of weird, isn't it? That all of a sudden, especially knowing something that I know went on this weekend, and now that this comes right after that, I don't think it's a coincidence by any stretch of the imagination. Now, what happened with Coinbase in September? Let's go back to September, okay? You're seeing right now Uncle Brian say positive stuff about Ripple. Activity, meaning they could be getting ready to relist it or have those discussions, okay? Go back to September. What happened in September with Ripple and Coinbase? Does anybody remember? They accidentally relisted the XRP trading pairs. Almost like around that time, they knew it was supposed to be over. It is not over yet. Still, there is paperwork being done on the back end for this. As I always tell you, the T's are being crossed and the I's are being dotted. That is a significant part of what's going on behind the scenes. But there was something else that happened behind the scenes that I'm not at liberty to talk about at this point, but maybe down the road, I can give you guys a little more insight into that. It's a little too fresh right now. But, this was supposed to be over already. I'm telling you guys, there's no way this drags on into next year. By the end of November, this will definitely be done. I don't see any way possible. Maybe it could go, I guess, maybe to the middle of December as we are looking at Bitcoin peaking out around that time. It could actually be the last catalyst for Bitcoin to rise before it hits a top. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. Because if this news came out, let's say the 1st of December, as Bitcoin is topping out, that would push Bitcoin to a high, maybe $105,000, $110,000. Then on that news, people are like, oh gosh, I need to get as much Ripple as possible. They start pulling money out of Bitcoin and putting it in XRP. It'll be the number one coin people are investing in at that time. It'll be easy to do. It'll be back on Coinbase. Then what happens? The price of Bitcoin drops. People aren't worried about it because they're all into XRP, and it is going to rise through the roof throughout the next 4 to 6 weeks. After that, meanwhile, Bitcoin will be bleeding off, and it will never return back to that high until the next cycle. It will.
It may never return. Okay, this was from yesterday, but I wanted to show it to you. Charles Gasparino said, memo to XRP Army, Eleanor Terrett is putting the finishing touches on her XRP Ripple regulatory roadmap. She will be exceedingly fair and will give all parties a chance to weigh in and influence our final product. Stay tuned. So that means the SEC, Bill Hinman, Jay Clayton, Gary Gensler. It also means people like Joseph Lubin can weigh in. All these people that don't want to talk to him right now, maybe they'll want to talk then. Okay, now I tweeted this out yesterday too. 10 questions Congress should ask regarding the SEC versus Ripple case. I think it's important that we have these questions in front of them. Joseph Lubin claims to have had a piece of paper in his pocket prior to the Ethereum pre-sale. What's on it? Who gave it to him? Joseph Lubin said that the SEC would not be grandfathering or any other digital assets. How did he know? Who told him? Joseph Lubin said the SEC made all the comments regarding decentralization that it was going to make. How did he know? Who told him that? Bill Hinman's public calendar from his time at the SEC is not available. This calendar would shed a lot of light on how the Ethereum Free Pass came about. There were 63 emails that went around regarding the Hinman speech. Where are they? Who was in that email thread? What was said? Were there any outside parties involved? Who? 6. Andreessen Horowitz led the venture capital working group, which tried to confidentially send the safe harbor memo to the SEC, which got leaked. Why was it confidential? What else was being discussed? Why is the SEC making policy behind closed doors and with hand-picked private industry participants? Was the Brooklyn project sanctioned by the SEC? As Charles Gasparino's report said, who was present in all the venture capital working group meetings? Were any digital assets besides Ethereum discussed in the venture capital working group meetings? Was Gary Gensler involved in those meetings in any way? Was Joseph Lubin involved in those meetings in any way? We don't know. Nobody wants to tell us these things. All right, this is from Bank XRP. Wanted to show you this.
And we're a network. We're trying to facilitate.
This is, by the way, this is a vice president at MasterCard.
Transactions. So initially, we feel that there are more people willing to pay with cryptocurrencies. There isn't as much of an acceptance network as of now, but we think it's coming. So as a result, we said, okay, well, let's at least get ready to set up the stage. And in doing so, we're working with a number of different partners, with Ripple, TBS, different companies around the world to say, well, how can you help this whole transaction go from front to back? We've set up all the networks, we're ready to go, and we're a network.
All right, that's good stuff. Now, today, Mike Novogratz sent out this picture. He says, talking crypto in Saudi Arabia. Well, we know, first of all, we've been showing you a lot of videos and different things. Mike Novogratz is best buddies with Joseph Lubin. We find him to be a very interesting character. And I think that he's trying to make nice with people in XRP land. And I think that he wanted to show a picture of him and Brad Garlinghouse on stage because he wants us all to be like, oh, he's sitting with Brad Garlinghouse, yay. Well, I said, I bet dollars to donuts he wanted us to see him sitting beside Brad Garlinghouse. Then the official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel sent this. Watch this video. This is a Freudian slip by Mike Novogratz. Well, I'm going to have to refresh that.
It's really popular, right? There are over 200 million people on Earth that own part of.
Look at the eat shit and die look on Brad Garlinghouse's face.
There has never been a security, or not a security.
What?
There's never been
Security?
an asset owned by more people at once. And so recently in the United States, crypto's.
Okay, and then Bank XRP put out this clip of Brad Garlinghouse.
Your question is perfect because I do think that some of the origins of blockchain and crypto were all about creating a separate, almost parallel financial system. And I think even as this panel and the structure has talked about the metaverse, I think about it really as the connective bridges. It's not about a separate financial system. It's how do we use these technologies to improve the existing financial system? Ripple has been focused on selling into financial institutions for 5-6 years. We have hundreds of institutions. Just yesterday, we announced the first corridor between the Middle East and the US dollar using digital assets to facilitate real-time money movements. We see this vision of a really enabling an internet of value. We talk about an internet of things, an internet of information that we live in today. And as Nick was introducing, I think that the future will enable the free flow of value in a way that truly is more inclusive and more democratizing to an economy that has fewer borders and includes more people.
We're already seeing that, right? In parts of the world, lots of parts of the world are already using this technology.
For sure. I mean, I think one of the things, to my knowledge, this is the first time I have been to FII, and I think it's indicative of the trend line of crypto, that we have a panelist of three very senior people in the crypto industry on stage here. And the trend line overall is more people, more countries, more regulatory clarity, more countries understanding how these can be leveraged to actually benefit their economies. I think the origins of, hey, it's for illicit purposes has really started to move into the background.
Okay, I think that was good stuff. Now, I also said this. I hope Brad Garlinghouse asked him how his buddy Joseph Lubin was doing. I'll bet dollars to donuts it was awkward backstage. And then this is the clip. Bank XRP put it up on his channel. Go give him a subscribe. This guy's an old school guy in the XRP community. Now, wanted to show you this because we can't go without finding a great Joseph Lubin clip for you. Listen to this.
You shouldn't use the term ICO because that calls to mind IPO, which also is a very investment-like language. And so if you're very clean in how you present the opportunity to acquire and use these different utility tokens, then it should not be construed as a security.
When blockchain came around, I got involved in around 2011. I found my next love, and I'm very fortunate because the first ICO that I was involved in was Ethereum, and I was charged with coming up with a legal structure for the Ether crowd sale.
So that guy that you just heard is this guy right here. Wait till you see this. Steven Narayoff. This is the man who helped guide the Ethereum founders in their ICO. So here's the deal. When the Ethereum ICO happened, I'll give you the brief of it. When they were planning on, we've shown a lot of videos where, and I found this out today actually. So I learned it today. You're learning it today. And what happened was, and what I'll do is I'll flash up each of these clips on the screen. I'm not going to go through them all, but what happened was, this Stephen, we've seen the videos where Joseph Lubin says that they were about to go and then they're about to go do the crowd sale. Then they started thinking about the legalities. Well, this is the guy who they looked to handle the, before them doing it, making the legalities work out, okay? And what this guy did is he turned around and headed the charge on it, okay? And look, this is his LinkedIn profile right here. Blockchain pioneer, he calls himself, now think about this. We've been watching Joseph Lubin saying that they didn't do an ICO, it was a crowd sale or whatever, trying to change the wording on it ever since it happened, okay? This guy calls himself today, not yesterday or a year ago or 3 years ago, today. He has this on his LinkedIn profile. He's an ICO legal architect, or that's what he was from January 2014 to December 2014, okay? He literally helped them try to attempt to get around the legalities of doing an ICO, and that's what it was. Now, I think he's in legal trouble. This is from September 18th, 2019. It says something about being arrested for extortion of a startup cryptocurrency, but this is the same guy. If you look right, let's see, Narayoff, Stephen Narayoff. A complaint was unsealed earlier today in federal court in Brooklyn charging Stephen Narayoff and Michael Lady with extortion. Narayoff, an attorney, they threatened to destroy a startup. Anyway, bottom line is he's in legal troubles, okay? But below this, I have put a thread out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them up so that if you're watching this, you can pause your video and read these things, because I'm not going to read them, but it tells you the entire story of how this guy led them through the meetings they had, exactly what happened. Vitalik was there, Charles Hoskinson was there, Joseph Lubin was involved, and then he went to he was dealing with the law firm Pryor Cashman. They also was one interesting thing here is that the team got on the phone with Joseph Grunfest to get his opinion, and my understanding is that they offered Joseph Grunfest Ethereum and he turned it down when he talked to them. But he went through the whole thing with them, and you can read it all here. The whole story is put together right here for you. All these random videos I've been showing you, all of the different things, the entire story of how this guy and Pryor Cashman helped them. And I believe, I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty positive after reading this it's the book, The Infinite Machine. After reading this, I'm pretty positive that the letter that Joseph Lubin says he had in his pocket was the opinion letter from Pryor Cashman after this whole story, the opinion letter where they're saying that this is not a security in our opinion. It says the months of hard work had the letter gave them enough protection or at least perceived protection to raise the money that would allow them to build the project they were dreaming of. But folks, this right here is nothing. This whole Ethereum story, the whole Hinman speech, all the meetings with the SEC, this is nothing but word games. All of this has been word games. A bunch of BS to get Bitcoin and Ethereum a free pass, and that's all it ever was. And they all know that. I don't care if it's Lowell Ness or any of the other ones that were involved. They all know that this was nothing but playing around with words until you could rationalize it and then somehow sell it to the public and the SEC. And it is all BS. Ethereum is no more decentralized than any other digital asset out there. And really, they're less decentralized because Ethereum's the one that's trying to get their teams together right now so that they can finish issuing Ethereum 2.0, which is another security. So make no mistake about it, this is all a farce. And the idea, and if they look, and they would have gotten away with it if they had been able, first of all, if Joseph Lubin had just been able to be humble about it. He had to gloat. He had to gloat. He had to go on video and Ripple didn't get the same thing, And they're not going to grandfather anymore in. Oh yeah, they've made all the comments they're ever going to make on decentralization. He had to run his mouth, and for that reason, and then on top of that, the SEC had to turn around and go after Ripple when they knew, everybody involved in this knew that what Ethereum did was worse than anything Ripple ever did, and they know it. They all know it. If they hadn't done that, they would not have infuriated the thousands of XRP holders out here, and none of this stuff would have been exposed. And the history books wouldn't have said anything about it. But now, history has been changed because they pissed in the wrong Cheerios, folks. All right. I want to finish with this, XRP Crypto Wolf. XRP is getting increased social media attention, and there's been a significant rise in addresses interacting on the XRP ledger in the month of October. Historically, these divergencies inevitably lead to price upticks, and I hope he's right. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that these guys pissed in the wrong Cheerios, folks. And for that reason, you and I have altered the course of history, and you should pat yourself on the back for it, because we've fought the good fight, we've fought the honest fight, and we've fought for we've fought for democracy, in my opinion, and we've fought against what looks like could be corruption. We don't know for sure, but it sure reeks of this kind of stuff.